YouTube shave fans, shaving cadre fans, type 2 diabetes rescued by keto fans, SuperCurve honing fans. Welcome. It is Sunday, December the 18th. Gonna do another shave, a little different than what I planned. I'd originally planned to just do a double-edged shave, but I think some of my fan base, there's loads of guys doing double-edged shaves. There's loads of guys doing shave videos. Why do we do this anyhow? Anyhow, I'm using, where did I get this? West Coast Shaving, tall, dark, synthetic, I guess that, nice brush, not that expensive. I like it because I like tall brushes. The soap I'm using is, because I'm a Sterling fanboy, maybe one of, as big as any of them. I'm using Dunshire. This is, I think, a homage to Geo or something like that. And I noticed something in lathering this up today. I've noticed, and I've been noticing it more lately, and I don't know, because it could be that some of the soaps that I'm noticing it with are older, been around a little bit longer, but I'm noticing that there's, at times, it's no secret that sometimes the scent of a soap can dissipate, which is why I don't go too much into the to the sense of the soap. I'm more into what does the aftershave smell like, and I usually buy a complimentary aftershave. But I've noticed more and more, I like tallow-based soaps. I like how they lather. I like how, I just prefer them, okay? And I've started to notice, and I've had comment on my favorite tallow-based soap is a Sterling mutton tallow, okay? I just don't think that I've found a soap that ever performs better than that. And most of his are beef tallow, because mutton tallow does have an animalistic, unglorious stank, okay? And I've noticed that it's like, okay, so I'm picking up this animalistic stink. So is this because I've reversed type 2 diabetes and all of a sudden my sense of smell is coming back, or does that stuff start to come out as there's a dissipation in the scent that is added to the soap? I don't really know. It doesn't bother me if that was, there are some people that the smell of that tallow animalistic type smell would be a super turn off for them, and that's why they would use a soap from a vegetable seed oil or something like that, or some sort of something that is free of animal fats. Anyhow, glycerin too, that's included. So, and to each his own there. I just like the performance. It's what I do. Okay. I was going to do the double edge. Okay. But I decided to do this. This is a gold dollar W58. This was an experiment for me that I bought. And it's clearly into the category of, and I use the term Chinese wonders, because they're made in China, and sometimes when you get them, you wonder, why did I buy this? This clearly falls into that category. But I did hone this up. This was one of the earliest compound bevels. Okay, it's not as advanced in with some of the stuff that I'm doing, but it does shave well. Now, let me see if we can kind of get that. I think right there you can, against my skin, you can kind of see how the shoulder on one side is lower than it is on the other side, okay? And if you look down the edge of this, let's see if I can get a clear look down the edge. This thing has a bend in it, just a wicked bend in there, okay? And largely, I would think this would be one of the famous RSOs, or razor-shaped object, because it is shaped like a razor that most people can't hone, okay? I had an early success with this, and as I advanced in the techniques that I use, it got better and better and better. So why am I using this today? Okay. Oh, and let me just kind of show you the what the end result in the bevel in that is. You can kind of see how huge that bevel is and how it's different from one side to the other. Okay, you can see how huge that is because it can't be the same from one to the other. Okay, but the only way, in my opinion, the only way with this, you can't get this, I don't think you could get this with a flat stone like this and still maintain the relative smile in the edge that was there by design, because it looks cool, even though the spine work is straight and would lead to a straight edge in a lot of the popular honing methods, unless you kind of move it somehow or another, which would be another art. And then with the twists and the difference from one side to the other, very, very complicated to do unless you use a shaped honing gear, which in this case is what I've called the SuperCurve. And why do I call it the SuperCurve? I call it the SuperCurve because there's almost like a stigma now with convex stones. Has been for a long, long time. Okay, and there was one hone master superior that every time convex hone comes up, he takes a picture of, or shows a picture of his stone, and he lays his razor on the corner of the stone, and he says he can do SuperCurve honing that way, and there's no difference. He's an engineer, so who am I to argue with him? But I'd venture to say he wouldn't hone this one either. The reason that I'm using this is I just happen to look around, and there's a guy who favors this. He says it's the best razor ever. Now he honed his by some 30, 40, 50 page method or whatever with sandpaper or whatever he uses. And there's loads of people that do that and they get success with it, but he showed pictures of it, and in the pictures of his razor is straight across as you would expect in that particular method of honing. And so why am I using this, and why does that come up about? It's because he's a active individual on a forum. I Bludgeon Beatdown or something like that it's called. I don't remember, okay? But it's like he's active on there. He's there all the time, and he talks about the W58 and how great it is and all that kind of stuff. And but he didn't hold the smile on his. And I'm not going to doubt that he honed that his razor has this same kind of a geometric problem. So far, this is delivering a delightful shave. But anyhow, so why did I bring that up? I brought that up because in the finest tradition of the Bludgeon and Bantam Forum, Bludgeon or beat 'em and ban them forum, okay? In the finest traditions of that forum, there was a guy who who I know. I know this guy. He and I have communicated. And he got banned because he didn't quite fit into what they expect of the people that they let hang out around there. He didn't quite go along with the masters and what they said, and they tossed him out. And that's okay, totally tossing somebody out because you don't like them. I mean, it's a business, you know, and you know, they can throw you out for any reason. But here's this guy who is quite diverse in his talents. He's a number of years my junior, and he's been afflicted by a horrible medical condition that leaves him disabled. And his social life kind of revolves around kind of picking up this hobby, okay? And so they bludgeon him and they beat him and they pistol whipped him, and terrific. The most greatest exemplary shave forum beatdown that you could ever imagine. Okay, and they gave it to him, and it didn't even stop after they gave him the boot. It's like, so Mr. This is the greatest razor ever, and I honed it on my 80-page method honing. Even though I laughed when okay, because somebody sold this guy a black slate, and they called it a surgical arc, and he thinks he got an arc, but then one of the other masters of the beatdown came along and said, "No, that's not an arc. That's that's not a surgical." Black arc. It's got no noviculite in it. It's a slate. So if his 80-page method of honing was so great, why is he going out and spending his money on rocks, for crying out loud? I don't get that. But in the established tradition of the Bludgeon and Beatdown and Band Forum, after they threw this medically handicapped person out, after they threw him out, then they started making fun of him. And why did I come in? Because one of the things that they tied in, and you know, he's, as far as I know, he's not, he's shown some questions in the type of honing I do, but I don't know that he'll ever do that. You know, and I'm not pushing it because I don't care what he does. Okay, but what they decided to do was make fun of what I do, okay, and tie it to him and say, well, the next thing we know, we expect him to start talking about the virtues of convex honing. So, okay. That's what you've been taught. And Mr. Surgical Black Slate Stone and Mr. W58, they're the best razor ever. No, they're not. That one shaves good, but no. They're Chinese wonders. You wonder why you bought them sometimes. So anyhow, so he got his licks in, and it's totally approved by the owners and management of Bludgeon Beatdown Forum, because that's what they do, and you know, it brings people in because people like to do that. They like to pick on other people, especially around the holiday season, and they like to beat them down. They like to put them in their place, and it's a money-making venture, and they make money at that because people come in and they love to see you beat up this crippled guy, okay, and link him to a unpopular method that has been, in my experience, proven to produce a very nice shaving edge. So anyhow, there was that, and then immediately afterwards, and this kind of surprised me, although it's less surprising than it used to be, because it was a guy that at one time I had a decent amount of respect for, because he seemed in balance, but I think he's been hanging out with the master of Shave Forum beatdowns a little bit too much. And he's going to do that well because he jumped in there too and he piled on, which is what happens in the Shave Forum beatdown. You know, one guy starts it, you pick an innocent person that, and especially in this case, can't defend themselves. Okay, and then one guy starts in, the other ones, and we have this. We have this great fun at somebody else's expense. So, and I bring that one up because that guy is a gold dollar specialist. And in the 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 page method of honing, he teaches people how to hone, okay? And yet, when he got to this one, and he had a business at one time selling gold dollars. Doesn't anymore. Then what I had noticed one time was where he had a bunch of these, and there's a bunch of other ones that are when the company makes these in China, decided to try and expand their market and make stuff that was a little bit more stylish and decorative and cooler looking. They made these, and he bought a bunch of those, okay, and he honed those up by the 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 page honing method that he uses, but he couldn't hone a single one of them, and he sold a whole box of them, dozens of these things, and I saw them listed on eBay. I mean, it's like, okay, dude, why are you selling these if the method that you espouse works so good all the time, regardless of what the shape, how goofy the shape is? Why are you fire sailing these and saying they're no good? I don't really get that. So that's kind of why I use this tool and kind of tied them in, because I think it's kind of funny. And when I see that kind of blatant hypocrisy, and especially when it's piling on with picking on somebody who doesn't really deserve to be picked on, okay? And these people should be experiencing shame for what they're doing, and yet they're rejoicing in it, and they're happy, and they're, you know, and the beat them down and Bludgeon Forum is making plenty of money, and it's like, yeah, okay. So that's my rant for today. And I think I've said it before, and I shouldn't watch YouTube anymore. So that's that's the shave. That's my rant. Okay, use that stuff. I'm not gonna do too much terrible finishing. That's a real good shave for a really crummy shave piece. And part of the reason I'm cutting it short is my guests came over. We're doing a kind of an early dinner for Christmas, and they got here ahead of time. So anyhow, I'm gonna use eucalyptus mint, switch hazel, splash some of that on. My commercial, go to the Shaving Cadre, www.theshavingcadre.com. Bill M, that's me. This avatar you'll see elsewhere, including forums that still have my posts up, that I was the victim of their fun beatdowns. Don't be like that. It's Christmas season. It's a holiday season. Be nice to people. And I know it's fun, and I know there are certain people who own some of these shave forums, and they make money at it, and so they really don't care. It's, you know, it's like as long as the money's rolling in, things are good. Oh, by the way, I'm using Dunshire aftershave. And I do wish everybody be nice to each other, have peace, and do have a safe and a wonderful holiday. All of you, including the nitwits and jerks that like to pick on other people. Just, I hope you have a good holiday, but why don't you stop that stuff? So take care, everybody, friends. Those of you that by the time this video goes up, it'll probably be after the Zoom call at the Shaving Cadre tonight. There's one coming up on Christmas. Get on one of those. You find good friends there that don't really care about how people sharpen their razors, and they don't really care to pummel one another. We're friends, and we act like it. And we just so happen to have this crazy hobby. So that's the shave. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Bill out.